So, welcome to business studies class. Okay, today's concept, the subscription of capital. Subscription of capital. Okay, listen. So, we are in the formation of company chapter. So, we have studied first two steps under formation of company. So, first one, the promotion. The second one, that is the incorporation. Now, third one, subscription of capital. The subscription of capital. So, in the promotion chapter, we have studied what is the meaning of promotion. So, promotion means the conceiving an idea and take initiation or initiative for formation of company. That is what you call the promotion of the company. Then meaning of promoter is the person who takes active part for starting or establishing a company. Then he is called a promoter. So, then we studied some functions of promoter. The first function was identification of business opportunity. So, then we studied the feasibility studies. So, economical feasibility, then the financial feasibility and some other feasibility under second one. So, then we studied some other the functions, the name approval, then fixing signatories, then preparation of document. These are all the functions of promoter. That was under the promotion. So, then we studied the document required for incorporation of company. The second step one, that was the document required for incorporation of company. So, under this incorporation was the second step under formation of company. So, what are the document required for incorporation of any company? So, we need memorandum of association, we need memorandum of association, then articles of association. These are the two important documents we require for formation of company. So, memorandum of association and second one, the articles of association. Then we need the consent of proposed directors, then we need some agreement, then statutory declarations. These are all the things. Then the fees receipt. These are all the important document we require for formation of company or for incorporation of a company. So, what is the meaning of memorandum of association? It is the important document. It is the important document. That document defines the company's objective. This is the first one. The memorandum of association we studied in the second class. In our previous class, memorandum of association, that document that defines the objective of a company, the purpose of starting a company. That is the thing that comes under memorandum of association. Under this we have studied various clauses. So, one more thing is here, the memorandum of association is a subordinate document under Companies Act. The Companies Act of 2013 was the superior to memorandum of association, but when it comes to MOA, it is a subordinate book or the document that comes under Companies Act. When it comes to articles of association, it is the document that contains rules of internal management, that defines relationship between the company and the employees, When I come to articles of association, this is a document, this is the subordinate to Companies Act and memorandum of association. This is the thing. So, this is the major document we require for incorporation of the company or formation of company. I repeat, when you come to first one, the promotion, we studied the meaning of promotion, then meaning of promoter, then the functions of promoter. Then we studied document required for incorporation or for starting company. So, major documents, memorandum of association, articles of association, then the consent of proposed directors, agreement then we need the statutory declaration, then receipt of the payment of fees. I mean the payment what we made or to the registrar of the company, so receipt we need for incorporation. Okay, that is the thing. So, second step, and then we comes the incorporation. So, after the preparing all the document, we have to incorporate our company with the registrar of companies, the registration of company under registrar of company, that is what we call incorporation. So, legal process or the legal formality for starting a company. So, after incorporation, the company that becomes a legal entity, then perpetual succession, it separate from its owner, they get the company that get the artificial existence. So, only after incorporation, that will be registration. I repeat, first step promotion, second step incorporation. After incorporation, the company gets the legal existence, the company becomes artificial person. This is the second step. Only 2 steps are enough for private company. As I said, only 2 steps are enough for private company. So, after the second step, they get certificate of incorporation. So, right after the getting the certificate of incorporation, then they can commence their business. It is applicable only to the private company, because the private company, they cannot raise the fund from the public. Okay, they cannot issue the shares to the public. They can raise their fund so by using the by their friend or relatives or by savings of its own pocket. That is the thing. So, that is a comes under the private company. There are 2 types of joint stock company, private company and the public company. Only 2 steps are enough for the private company. When you come to public company, they have to pass one more step, that is what we call subscription of capital. Subscription of capital. So, first promotion, then incorporation for public company also. So, after second step, then they get the certificate of incorporation. Then they go for third one, subscription of capital. Now, subscription of capital means a public company, they can issue the shares or debentures or their security to the general public. They can issue the security to the general public. Only the public company, they have the chance, they have the opportunity or provision to issue the security to the general public. A security means what? The tradable financial asset, that is what we call the security. Now, that is what we call subscription of capital. So, issuing the shares or debentures to the general public, that is what we call subscription of capital. Okay, now, here we have some steps. First one, SEBI approval, SEBI, SEBI approval, then filing prospectus, then appointment of bankers, then brokers and underwriters. Appointment of bankers, brokers and underwriters. Then we have the minimum subscription, then application to stock exchange, then allotment of shares. These are all the steps that comes under subscription of capital. This is the third step under formation of company. Now, when you come to first one, the SEBI approval. SEBI means what? Security and Exchange Board of India. Security and Exchange Board of India is the regulator authority for the capital market. So, they regulate and controls our capital market. They are called as watchdog of the stock market, SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. Now, as per their guidelines, the company has to disclose all the relevant matters or the fact to the general public. So, before going to issue the shares to the general public, the company has to disclose all the relevant fact. They should not conceal any material fact in front of the general public. There is a thing, we have the guidelines from the SEBI, we have to disclose all the fact or the true things in front of the general public. There is a first steps under the subscription of capital, SEBI approval. So, before going to the public issue, before going to the public issue, prior to that the company has to get the permission from the SEBI or the SEBI approval. That is the first one. The second one, the filing of prospectus. Okay. Now what is the meaning of prospectus? Prospectus is an invitation to the general public to subscribe their shares. Now company, before going to the issue, the company, they issue some prospectus. It's an invitation, it's like a notice. So there we mention the number of shares, then mode of payment, then the face value. So we write all the information in the prospectus, then we issue to the general public. So prospectus is an invitation to the general public to purchase their share. So now the prospectus should be filed with the registrar of company. So one copy of the prospectus that should be filed with the registrar of company. Then it's only applicable to the public company. If the public company, if they want to raise the fund from the issue of equity shares or the shares, then they have to file one copy of prospectus with the registrar of the company. Even though company is a general company, public company, if they don't want to raise the fund by issuing of shares to the public, then they have to submit statement of leave of prospectus. Statement of leave of prospectus to the registrar of the company. If the company, if they go for issue of shares to the general public, then they have to file one prospectus with the registrar of the company. If company is not going to raise the fund by issue of shares to the general public, in that time they have to file a prospectus, that is what we call statement of leave of prospectus. Statement of leave of prospectus. The difference, what is the difference between the prospectus and statement of leave of prospectus? So in the prospectus we have to mention all the things. Okay, company's name, the company's nature of company, then its operations, then basic information, the number of shares, authorized shares, then called up shares, then the face value. You have to write all the things. When you come to statement of leave of prospectus, then we have to give the brief information. That's the difference. So here you have to give all the information. You have to give it elaborately. But when you come to statement of leave of prospectus, then we have to give the brief information. That's the difference between the prospectus and statement of leave of prospectus. LIEU, leave of prospectus. Okay, that's the second one. So here we will understand only thing that it is an invitation to the public to subscribe the share. The second step. Now third one, appointment of bankers, brokers and underwriters. So after finishing second step, then we go for third one, appointment of bankers, brokers and underwriter. Now what is the meaning of bank? The company, they issue the shares to the public. Okay, they issue shares to the public. If any public, if they want to invest in the share, then they have to give the application. They have to send the application. So along with the application, they have to pay some application money. For example, the company, they are issuing 1000 shares. The face value is 10. Face value is 10. Company, they are issuing 1000 shares. The face value is rupees 10. Then if public, if they want to invest money with the share, or if the company, if the public, if they want to purchase share, then they have to give the application. the one person X, he want 100 shares, he has to apply for it. With the application, he has to pay 4 rupees, sometimes 4 or 5 or maybe less or more. Now it's 4. That's called application money. Application money. Then when you come to application money, totally company they get 1000 application for 1000 shares. They get the application for 1000 shares of rupees 4. They will get 4000 rupees now. 4000 rupees. So that amount should be collected by the banker. Okay, it should not be collected by the company. The application money that should be collected by the banker. Then second point is a broker. Who is the broker? Broker is the person, he tries and encourages public to purchase the share. That is the work or task of the broker. Convince the public to subscribe the shares. The company issued 1000 shares. Okay, so company issued 1000 shares. Now broker he tries and he encourages public to purchase these shares and send the application, apply for the share. That is the second one. Then third one, underwriter. For some cases, the company they issued 1000 shares, but only 800 shares were subscribed. Only 800 shares were subscribed. Remaining 200 shares that would be purchased by the underwriter. Okay, in case of what do you call under subscription. For example, company issued 1000 shares, only 800 shares were subscribed or purchased by the public. Company issued 1000 shares, we got application for only for 800 shares. It is called under subscription. Then one more example. Company issued 1000 shares, but they got application for 1200 shares. We got more application. That's what we call under subscription. It's not under subscription now. It's over subscription because we issued 1000 shares, but we got application for 1200 shares. That's what we call over subscription. Okay. Now, the amount received along with the application that is collected by the banker. Now, the broker, he will convince the public to purchase the share. When it comes to underwriter, in case of under subscription, then he undertakes to buy the shares. For example, we issued 1000 shares, but only 800 shares were subscribed. The remaining 200 shares would be purchased by the underwriter. He got some commission. He gets some commission for it. It is called underwriter. Okay, that is the thing. Now, so after appointment of banker, broker and underwriter, then we have one more step here, minimum subscription. Now we got the application money, but we can't distribute, we can't allot shares to the investor or to the shareholder because the company has to get the minimum subscription. For example, if the company they issued 1000 shares, out of 1000, minimum 900 shares should be subscribed by the general public. Otherwise, they can't allot shares to the general public. That's the thing. If the only 800 shares were subscribed by the public, then they can't allot shares to the general public. They have to return the application money. If the company, if they want to allot shares to general public, then minimum 900 shares should be subscribed by the public. That is the thing. Minimum subscription, that must be 90% of issue size. If the company issued 100 shares, then 90. If the company issued 1 lakh shares, 90 lakh shares should be subscribed by the general public. A simple thing. Okay, 90% of issue size, that must be subscribed by the general public. Only then the company, they can allot shares to the shareholders. Okay, then next one, application to stock exchange. If the company gets minimum subscription, then they can go for allotment. If they didn't get minimum subscription, then all application money that should be returned to the applicants or to the general public. Next one, application to stock exchange. Application to stock exchange. So now company has to file application for minimum 1 stock exchange for dealing of their share. Okay, minimum for 1 stock exchange, they have to apply for minimum 1 stock exchange for trading their shares. Then next we have the allotment of shares. So after finishing this, the company, they can go for allotment of shares. Now one more case here, one more problem. Okay, one more problem. If we have only 1000 shares, but we got application for 2000 shares. So now what will we do? Sometimes we can allot the shares only to the 1000 applicants. For other 1000 applicants, we need to allot the shares, then we can repay their application money. There is a one thing we can do. Okay, so just allot the shares only to 1000 shares, then for remaining 1000 applicants, just repayment of their application money. That is the one case. Or for every 2 application, we can allot 1 share. For every 2 application, we can allot 1 share. We can do in that way also. It is left to the company for their decisions. Okay, that's things. Sometimes excess money that will be adjusted to the allotment. Sometimes we can pay it back. We can return it back to the applicants. That's the thing. The allotment of shares. It's very important and very interesting point. So how the company, they go for the rise of they go for raising the fund. How they issue the shares? First they has to get the approval or the permission from the SEBI, the watchdog or the controller or regulation authority of our capital market, SEBI. First you have to get the permission from SEBI, then filing prospectus with the registrar of company, then appointment of banker for collecting application money, then broker, he tries and encourages and convinces public for buying the shares. Then we have underwriter. So in case of under subscription, then they undertake to buy the shares. I said, what's the meaning of under subscription? Issue size is more. They issued 1000 shares but subscribed only 800 shares. We got application for only for 800 shares. It's called minimum under subscription. If company issued 1000 shares but got application for 2000 shares, then it's called over subscription. Okay, that's the thing. So then we have minimum subscription, that must be 90% of issue size. If company issued 1 lakh shares, then 9000 shares should be subscribed. If company issued 100 shares, 90 shares should be subscribed by the public. Then next, application to stock exchange, minimum to 1 stock exchange, then allotment of shares. After this, so we can go for allotment. Okay, just now is the second step is over. Allotment of shares. Sometimes if the face value is 10, sometimes if face value we issued 1000 shares, face value is 10, so we received 4 rupees at the time of application, okay, then remaining 6 rupees may be at the time of allotment, or sometimes we receive 2 rupees at the time of allotment, again 6 rupees remain, 4 rupees remain, that may be in the first call. It is application money, it is allotment, then it is the first call, or sometimes we can ask it together in a single lump sum, that is left to the company. Okay, this is all about the subscription of capital. This was the last class under formation of company. In next class we will discuss about the internal trade. It is very important chapter for you. As a commerce student we must know. So what are the steps for formation of company? How many steps are there? So then what is the meaning of promotion? What is the meaning of incorporation? Then subscription capital. This is the student must chapter for the commerce student. Okay, so read it very well. It's very interesting. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening the class. Thank you. See you in the next class.